Episode 8 of NCIS, Origin Season 2, End of the Road, really leans into the idea of connection, and the story uses Lala to show just how powerful those bonds can be. Lala's always been the one who sees people, not just their usefulness. And the episode opens with this warm, almost comforting montage of her chatting with her confidential informants in the safe house like they're old friends. One of them is Tony, Twitchy Tony, the same guy from episode 6 who used to run underground fights. Lala helped turn him into a CI, and their relationship grew through little things like poker games where they used buttons instead of chips. She even gave him her watch when she realized how lonely he really was, a gesture that let him know someone was genuinely in his corner. That emotional setup makes the rest of the episode hurt in all the right ways. At the same time, the show contrasts Lala's strength with Gibbs' awkwardness when it comes to connection. Diane gets a job in LA, and instead of figuring things out, Gibbs just ends it. Walks away. That breakup becomes a running gag throughout the episode, with End of the Road playing at the worst possible moments and Randy blurting out the news every time someone hears the song. It's funny, but the levity doesn't last long because the story jumps right into Tony being shot, and the ledger he kept for Lala suddenly missing. Even though Lala technically isn't family, Lady Franks lets her ride with him in the ambulance, one of the first signs that the case is going to get more complicated than anyone expects. At the hospital, Lala spots a stranger wearing Tony's watch and immediately chases him, convinced he stole it and pulled the trigger. She meets Tony's mother, sees pictures of Tony smiling when he was younger, and that connection pushes her deeper into the investigation. She tries everything to get a clear image of the mystery man, and ironically, it's Dalton, of all people, who manages to sketch him out from her vague descriptions. That's when Gibbs and Randy recognize him from the underground fights, and the mystery thickens even more once the forensics team discovers a page from the ledger sewn inside Tony's jacket. Someone desperately wanted the ledger, and Tony clearly knew it. The team sets up a stakeout at Tony's warehouse after hearing a copy of the ledger might be hidden there. Randy and Herm share one of the most unexpectedly hilarious bonding moments of the season, a nerve-calming freestyle rap session that somehow works, while Lala and Gibbs slip into one of their classic back-and-forths. Lala calls him out for ruining things with Diane and for never visiting her after the car crash, which could have been such a good emotional moment. But the show cuts it short when the stranger shows up. It's very Origins, always teasing deeper character moments without fully committing. The episode also takes time to explore Lala and Frank's growth. We see these raw, vulnerable flashbacks of Lala after her accident. The fear she might lose her job, the frustration when she fails her physical test, and the pain of not knowing who she is without fieldwork. Meanwhile, Franks is dealing with his own evolution during a visit to his brother. He pushes for a gentler, more trust-based method of braking in a wild Mustang, which is brother marks until it actually works. It's a subtle but meaningful reminder of how much Franks has changed since Season 1. And then there's Stanley, the strange, philosophical 20-something who hangs around the reserve, making Franks uncomfortable. At first he seems like random comedic filler, but the show has big plans for him. Back at the warehouse, everything explodes, metaphorically, when the stranger is finally caught and shouts, "I'm a federal agent." Suddenly the whole story flips. He wasn't the killer. He was undercover in the steroid ring, the same ring Tony was helping Lala investigate. The agent reveals he had been falling apart mentally from the strain of the job, and Tony had given him Lala's watch to keep him grounded, repeating her exact words about always having someone in his corner. That detail forges a beautiful through line between Tony, the agent, and Lala. Once the agent mentions Tony kept the backup ledger in the safest place he knew, Lala instantly understands. It's hidden in their safe house. And that's where everything clicks. Tony's shooter was Lady Franks. She'd been turning a blind eye to the illegal activities, and Tony discovered it. He hadn't exposed her, not yet, because he believed she still had good in her. That belief cost him everything. As Lala processes all this, she remembers Tony visiting her during her recovery, giving her a giant clock and telling her to never give up. That moment explains why she fought so hard not to lose her place in the field. Then those final 10 seconds hit like a truck. Tony survives, which is a massive relief. Gibbs, maybe a little too inspired by Lala's empathy and approach to people, not only reunites with Diane but spontaneously marries her in Vegas. And Stanley, yes, the weird kid from the reserve, blows up a movie theater. It's wild, it's abrupt, and it closes the episode with that signature Origins blend of heartfelt storytelling and absolute chaos. If you caught something in this episode that hit you differently, maybe Lala's grief, Gibbs' impulsiveness, or that insane final twist, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what stood out to you and what you think is coming next, because this show keeps throwing curveballs, and episode 8 might be the biggest one yet.